Hello, everybody. Hyper G and Lucky Sixes are here for the ninth page, Art of War 666, the final battle report in that tournament. Kind of
Bonjour.
sad, really, because it's our It's our favourite tournament of the year, coming
It
to an
is.
end. But we
But
have sort of
all,
like managed to keep it going till April or
I know,
May,
yeah,
haven't we? So,
come on. All good
yeah,
things do have to come to an end,
they do.
and this is that end.
Yes.
Here we are with Orcs and Goblins, Hyper
Mm.
G versus Undying Dynasties, one that we don't
Mm.
have a lot on the channel, which is pretty cool.
Really cool. So yeah, to recap, what you'll
Mm.
already have seen in Lucky Six's last report, you went out with a bang, didn't you? You were very much steady Eddie
60.
for day one, and then you managed to shoot your way up to 60 points, which is
Yeah, got
really
very,
nice
very,
ending for you.
very, very pleased to have 30 on each day. I think that's pretty solid
Definitely.
tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, especially when you couldn't really get much away from the 9, 10, 11 score line in day one. It was kind of like, yeah, I can do a bit more than that. And, no, it was good. It was a good end result for you. I had a bit of a boost. My day one was awful. Came out with like 14 points, I think it was.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't awful. I enjoyed all three of my games and had three good opponents. But things didn't quite click for the OP Orcs.
Score wise, yeah.
Score wise, yeah, exactly. But round four, not only did I get an awesome opponent in Andy, but I also got a good win, a 17-3 victory, which put me within sniffing distance of that magical 50 points,
50,
the halfway
yeah.
points I was aiming for, because at the end of round four I was on 31.
31, so you need
31.
19 or more.
So
Right.
19 or more will get me onto that 50 point as respectable. And when I say respectable, that's my target.
And
I think, to be honest,
did you feel like you were like, right, I'm just going to go for it?
a little bit, yeah, a little bit. I don't think I put much expectation on myself though,
Sure.
because I almost didn't want to be OP Orcs, as in, if suddenly I got 100 points out of 100 points, it was like, oh, it is just OP Orcs. So I was kind of like reconvincing myself that, yeah, I'm not that powerful, even using an OP army. So it was like, yeah, this is fine. This is just me normally. I usually finish around 50 points. It's all good. But I still wanted to finish at 50 points. I didn't want to finish at 31. And my opponent for the Undying Dynasties, somebody I'd never met before, somebody who'd come across because of the sway of Art of War as well, which is awesome. Antoine, who, yeah, really, really awesome playing against another new opponent. And like you say, hadn't seen Undying Dynasties much at all recently. I think Tony's pretty much our only one who plays them.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Luke Williams in terms of the scene as well. But yeah, over to, as we were mentioning very briefly, the OP Orcs. What have we got?
Yeah, Gromgor and his crew.
Gang.
Yeah, and he did pretty well against the vampires. Led a flanking charge and killed a few things, and then caused a bit of chaos with the vampires that Andy was controlling. Most things, it was pretty solid victory for him, so he was feeling a bit more confident going into this one. So it's big veteran orc marauder block,
two big blocks, trolls,
big blocks of orcs.
You guys know it by now.
Exactly. You don't need.
But
me
if
to
you
go
don't,
through that again,
pause and
actually, it's a really good point. Like skipping through my list as such, because that comes up in the battle shortly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll see how that affects things.
On to the Undying Dynasties. What has he got? Ooh, Shah Guardian Pharaoh.
Yeah, really cool. Godslayer,
baby.
I think that's like a takes away, gives multiple wounds if you've got an Aegis save. I don't have any Aegis saves.
Yeah, but it's any even conditional ones. So even if you could get an Aegis save, so like for example, the Warrior's Toxic Aegis save.
Yeah.
So because you could get an Aegis save, it's multiple wounds or something like that. Really good.
Yeah, exactly. I think technically I do have Aegis saves on Gromgor actually. I think he's got 5 of Aegis. Can't remember now. Yeah,
sure.
Probably should study my list rather than skip it.
Who he attacks, isn't it? So yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, the Shah Guardian Pharaoh. That's actually something that Luke Williams plays, isn't it? Shah Guardian Pharaoh. He's got 2 Death Cult Hierarchs on skeletal horses. They're going to be hiding out in the Skeleton Scout unit as well, which is a really cool little bunker thing that a lot of people are doing. He's got a couple of, 1 chariot unit, skeletons who are entombed, so you never know when they're going to pop up. That's obviously a scoring thing, but as we will find out, it's a hold the center kind of thing, which isn't really a place that skeletons want to be, as you pretty much spent a lot of your battle trying to keep them relatively safe.
Without, unsuccessfully.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, there's the skeleton. The skeleton cavalry are actually the bunker. The skeleton scouts are just chaff, I think. Can't remember how it turns out, but yeah. He's got 8 Shabtis. Like to see Shabtis in a list. Paired weapons as well. Really cool. 3 Tomb Cataracts, and they are special ambush, so that they're underneath, entombed as well.
Beneath the sands, yeah.
Pretty much. 2 lots of 2 Scarab Swarms for another bit of chaffage. Always a bit of trouble. A Dread Sphinx and a Colossus. The Colossus is so good.
So good.
I think they're better with paired weapons.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah,
especially with divination.
I can't get over how good they are, but yeah.
Yeah.
But still, a great model.
Absolutely.
As was my one, this is Refuse Flank and Hold the Asterix. Because it was the Great Escape, so the Hold the Center basically shrinks in that center. You've got to get to it and then get closer and closer and closer, otherwise you don't get the points. But take a little look on there, but that's basically it in a nutshell. Should say as well, all the objectives did freshen up cool. The tournament as a whole, and was really, really good fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Dan does a great job designing these. I know he's already thinking about the next tournament he hosts, which is stressing him out, bless him. But, come on, Dan, just chill. You've got some time out now.
And this is at the time of the video going out, so this is like 3 weeks ago.
Really? Yeah. 3 weeks. You won't see it for 3 weeks, but he's already stressed out.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, bless him.
On to deployment, and a lovely battle mat, actually. I quite like this one.
Yeah, it suits the Tomb King's Sand as well, which is really cool. And yeah, so I like when you said your battle was Refuse Flank, I was like, I don't remember deploying diagonally, but clearly I did because we both did. Obviously, I just flipped my brain.
So that picture evidence, man.
Exactly. Yeah, it's very diagonal. So what have I got? I've got a big unit of Feral Orcs. Is there something underneath the banners actually? Is that? Can't remember. Yeah, chariot. There you go. Iron Ox chariot.
Grumgor.
No, he's not on the chariot. You're getting your own battle reports.
Oh yeah. Oh goodness me.
Yeah, this is an Iron Ox chariot in this one. Feral Orc block next to him. Then you've got the Veteran Orc block with the Shaman in. Then you've got a Wrecking Team with the chariots behind. The Veteran Orc Marauders with Grumgor. He's in there. Then the Trolls with the Pet Monster in, another Wrecking Team on the far side of that, and then the Feral Orcs Marauders who spent the whole of the last battle just chilling on the hill. Maybe they'll have to do something in this one. Yeah, nice little line. You can see in the top corner there, Antoine's got his cataracts and
ambushes.
Cataphracts, not cataracts. That's 2 different things entirely.
The eye. He's got his cataracts up in the eye. Oh, has he?
He's got his cataracts up in the corner, yeah.
On a 3-up it comes on. What?
With the skeleton unit entombed. And then skipping all the way down to this bottom corner, there's this chariots, a scarab unit. There's a Colossus, I think it's called, probably.
It is.
Yes. Another scarab. The Shabtis in the middle with the cavalry behind. Then he's got the Shah Guardian, and then going up to the Dread Sphinx. Then the Skeleton Scouts, and then another unit of chariots. I thought he had 2 chariots. Yeah. Another unit of chariots, and they were behind the building. I think he was just a little bit lost.
But they both have stalkers, don't they, as well? So the light troops and stalkers.
Exactly. Right? So he just was planning not to use those chariots as a zonal threat, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get first turn. Really cool. I move up a bit tentatively, just keeping my options open at this stage. So you asked me whether I was going to just go for it. Maybe in my head I was, but then I was like, I'm a bit nervous about this Undying Dynasties list. I don't really know what my threat is going to be. So I sort of like just fanned out a little, did a bit of a zigzaggy line going on, giving myself lots of threatage, ready to pull off a war cry. The wrecking teams, however, they ignore the memo and just gun ho. Let's just go.
We need points, man. We need points.
So yeah, they're going to threaten. I get off lightning van braces. I think the only thing that I had in range was the scarabs. I knew it was pointless killing scarabs, but yeah. And I got break the spear off on the Shah Guardian. I think Antoine let that go because he wasn't planning on marching his Shah Guardian, which I didn't have a lot to do. Hence the lightning van braces on scarabs, really.
Yeah. Onto his turn, his scouts.
Yeah.
Take the brunt.
Skeleton. They do. The scouts take it. I was perfectly fine with that. It was kind of a relatively even exchange of points, and gets rid of one of his chaffing units. The scarabs, meanwhile, couldn't move far enough to get onto that wrecking team in the middle. You can see that little terrain piece. That's our hold the center marker, which Antoine provided.
Oh, is it? Really cool. Was it his as well? That's cool.
Yes, yeah. It's like a little. I can't really remember what the terrain was, but
it was like an undead treasure trove.
Exactly. His whole army was beautiful, I should say.
Yeah, it does look it.
I forget to mention that sometimes, but it's so good. So good.
Well, I mean, the standard of armies at Bristol was incredible. It was really really superb. I've actually got some videos that will go out after this things of the armies that were best painted and things like that. The War of Art. So all part of that, and then the ceremony at the end as well to come out. So yeah, if definitely go check them out, and I'll make them the next ones videos and things at the end. But yeah, so superb.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Yeah. I go for it with my advance. Basically, Antoine backed off with everything except his scarabs, so I had a lot more space to move into. So this might look a bit tentative again, but it's not actually as tentative as you think because he moved backwards, and I moved into the space that he vacated or started to anyway.
I should say I love the amount of wound markers he's got
ready to use. Yeah.
It's like a whole jar. It's like a jam jar of wound tokens. I'm ready.
Just behind that building. Yeah,
But
absolutely.
I'll heal them up. I'll use fresh ones. I don't even care.
No, every time I heal one, I'm just going to throw it over the back of my shoulder. Don't need that one anymore. That one's healed. Yeah. There's the person behind him just like, ow! Yeah. I move around with these feral marauders. I don't think have those.
This is on his turn. So this is you.
Yeah. So I'd moved my feral marauders because he'd moved his chariots to not be a threat on that side. So then he responded by bringing his cataracts on to see me. Nice one, yeah. That works. And so that does put my feral marauders in a bit of a bind, actually.
Yeah.
He decides to use another unit as wrecking team bait.
Yeah.
And doesn't die. The wrecking team doesn't kill the chariots. It kills one, I think. And he was. Well, I think we were both a bit surprised, really, that the chariots didn't die. I think I was actually a little bit. That gives me a decision to make that I didn't think I'd have to make.
Yeah.
So we'll see what I do about those chariots. But they're kind of like floating. They're not chaffing. They're just in the middle of the battlefield. Elsewhere, I think it's he kind of comes at me a bit with the Shabtis. The Scarabs are still chaffing in the middle. I should say in my turn too, my neophytes have come on, and that has kind of forced him a little bit into doing some moving more towards my army. So great, well done, neophytes. Before then, the Antoine was just backing off.
Yeah.
And now with neophytes behind his two hierarch block characters, he needed to actually fight me. So awesome. He has moved the chariots there to face those neophytes, though. So, and we go into my turn 3. I declare a charge with the veteran orcs into the scarab swarm, the first one. and I don't know what's happening with the Iron Orc chariot. I think he's like slowly moving his way around the flank. I also declare a charge with the trolls on the chariots. I believe this is where, going back to what I said earlier about like my list and not going through it, I think initially I declare a charge with only the pet monster demagogue on the chariot, because I'm thinking to myself that the pet monster can go through the chariots no problem on his own, and then overrun and cause Antoine a problem with what do you countercharge, knowing you've got a whole unit of trolls to countercharge your countercharge. But like, this isn't Antoine. This is generally, when you say something tactically in a game of Night Page and your opponent just looks at you gone out as if like, I had no idea what you're just doing.
Sure.
And Antoine had already said at the start of the battle he wasn't massively familiar with the new Orcs book, so I tried to go through a lot of things. But clearly, when I said I'm just charging out the pet monster on his own, Antoine was like, "What? Pet monster? What are you talking about?"
Sure.
And so I was like, "Yeah, bugger." I didn't really talk about the pet monster when I was going through my list. So I can't remember whether I take the whole charge back onto the chariots. We'll find out in a minute. But yeah, I'll remind myself in a minute what I actually do.
Also, neophytes making in.
They make a long charge into the rear of the bunker, which is amazing. So we'll see what they can do in combat. But it's only skeleton cav, and those skeleton cav are not charging. So yeah.
DTs?
The scarabs, dangerous terrain. Yes, he got an item that made that forest into quicksand. Which is the only reason that I was happy for my orcs to be in there, because otherwise they would lose steadfast in a forest. But it wasn't actually a forest
it wasn't
anymore.
A forest. It became a dangerous sand. Okay,
it was just quicksand. Yeah. So I'm not making the whole loss of steadfast mistake with a big ranked up unit. Meanwhile, I moved my feral orcs forward quite aggressively. I think I might have popped my relentless banner to get that far. The Orc chariot makes its way onto the hill because his chariots have faced the neophytes now, so there's no reason for them not to. I did declare the charge with the whole unit of trolls. Originally, I declared just the pet monster, but because Antoine hadn't had the benefit of me explaining what the pet monster could do on his own, I just decided to not pull that trick of sending a character out on his own and just stick the whole unit in, and then he can find out about the whole thing. Really, and it kind of simplified the battle in that sense. Like, there wasn't a random character going out, and I was perfectly confident that the trolls could handle it as a whole unit. So, admittedly, they had a Shard Guardian and a Dread Sphinx to deal with, and Shabties potentially.
Yeah.
But trolls, baby.
Trolls, man.
Yeah.
You backed off with the Marauders?
The Marauders backed off with the Marauders purely because the Shabties were a bit of a threat to me, and I didn't want to commit everything to that small space, and I wanted something to be a countercharge. So yeah, I backed off with the Marauders. I did get what spell is that? Oh no, he's put Whispers of the Veil on me, which is -1 res and discipline, which obviously does make them a bit squishier than I would like as well. So I didn't want his Shabties being able to charge them directly. The Feral Orcs do the best that they can on this side to make the Cataracts have something to do that they don't want to do, like distance-wise. Pull them out of position as long as possible, really, rather than just get them to kill my Ferals anyway. And then in his turn, well, I go through the Scarabs with my Veteran Orcs, so that's fine.
And the Trolls kill the...
And the Trolls kill the Chariots and then just reform. No sweat. He gets a whole bunch of spells off. No, that was the last turn.
Yeah.
In my turn, I got Rod of Battle on the Neophytes, and they go mental.
Kill the bunker, right?
Kill the bunker. All of the cavalry are dead. Including Crumble. I might even have done a few wins to the actual characters as well by the end of this. I can't remember. But yeah, it's a really great position to be in. Yeah, neophytes are just so good. Like jumping up and doing that to a unit that isn't expecting to fight.
No ninjas.
Yeah, really cool. I think
he charges with his cataphracts.
Yes, he does, into the rear, and I had to kind of work out whether I wanted to flee that or not, and I'm not going to say what I do because I think the next picture will show it in a bit, and well, maybe not the next picture.
Yeah, he goes into your neophytes.
He goes into the neophytes with the chariots because he's set that up, but I was just happy to still get a chance to kill the characters because I would put all my attacks on there, what was left of them. This was a shame for Antoine. I said that I wasn't too worried about the trolls fighting the Dread Sphinx and the Shah Guardian. I mean, that was being a little bit arrogant because that would have been tricky to fight both. But obviously, my brain was thinking this is the last round of a tournament.
Do they have regen rather than ward, don't they?
Fortitude, yeah. So they don't care about the multiple wounds thing on the Shah Guardian, absolutely.
Yeah.
But the Shah Guardian does 1/1 the charge, so that's not a failed charge. That's actually 3 1s is literally what it rolled. So not only does it not complete the charge, but it doesn't really move for a whole turn, which is just horrible luck for Antoine there. And yeah, the Dread Sphinx, while I am wounding on 6s, even with Strength 5 trolls, but it's probably not getting through many trolls, let's be honest. It's just not really a killing machine. However, elsewhere, the Colossus decides to bypass the Feral Orcs quite handily. It could wheel round, which was, I just didn't have enough movement with the Relentless Banner to do that, to stop him from doing it. But he crisscrosses and goes into the Veteran Orcs with the Shabtis and the Colossus. I have got Awaken the Beast. I think it's Resilience, but I could be wrong.
It makes sense. You normally do that.
I'd normally do Resilience, yeah. To be fair. Yeah.
This is fun.
Yeah, this is this isn't combat. This is him miscasting, right? It just goes from bad to worse with the Hierophant, really, or the Hierarchs.
Was it his level 4 or level 2 that died?
I'm pretty sure it's the level 4 that blew itself up. Yeah. And took wounds.
Because obviously, triple freeze is D6 on the unit at strength 4.
And the unit is now just the wizards.
The 2 wizards.
That's not really damaging to wizards that are only res 3 or whatever they are.
So neophytes, really, you put it down to?
Neophytes, MVPs on this one, irrespective of what happens now. Yeah. The Cataracts go through the Feral Marauders. I decided to hold it because I kind of...
The flea didn't look great.
The flea didn't look great because it would have stood right in front of my Veteran Marauders, I think, at that angle. Yeah. Whereas completing the charge got them fleeing in this direction. He actually had a chance to overrun with the Cataracts and hit the side of my Marauders, I think, but didn't quite roll far enough. Okay. It would have needed like an 11 or 12, I think. But,
yeah, sure.
The other skeletons come up as well. He puts them there because the center is a bit too scary for a unit of skeletons.
Yeah.
But the center is quite hotly contested. It's literally Veteran Orcs versus Shabtis at the minute. I think the Marauders might be contributing to that. But I am.
But it's getting smaller and smaller. You have to get closer and closer.
It is, but I'm fairly good in terms of scoring over that sense of things. Neophytes do die to the chariot, but they manage to kill the last hierarch.
I was going to say, do they even after impact hits?
Yeah. Well, only 2 chariots were impacting because the depth of the neophytes.
Yeah.
And I think normal chariots are only D3 for UD.
Well, yeah, D3 plus 1 or something.
Something like that, yeah. So it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, nice. And then in the centre, we've got some death.
A whole load of spells went off before the last wizard went down.
Well, I say on your part, on both parts, really. Death everywhere. The Shabdi, your dudes, the Dread Sphinx. Everyone died apart from the trolls, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. They took 2 wounds, but so still managed to get 3 through.
Yeah, it's still great. Yeah,
that's just awesome. Can't I think I just rolled 3 6s and he didn't. They don't actually have that much armor, Dread Sphinx, I don't think. I think it's all about
so. It's
the
toughness.
difficulty to wound.
Yeah.
So there was that. A whole load of veteran orcs died to the Shabtiz, but I think because he was charging into my spears, I think I was attacking first.
Cool.
I think I stopped. At this point, his only wizard left was the divination one. Hopefully, that was the level 2. I remember the adept. I think it was. But I stopped Know Thy Enemy so that his agility wouldn't get buffed on the charge. So it meant my spears were attacking before, and so
I guess with the neophytes doing their job, this is the last turn they're going to get any
last turn they'll have magic.
So
yeah, exactly. Although my feral orcs are now kind of out of position, and so they end up having to basically kill the scarabs in order to get a reform with the Iron Orc chariot, which should be no problem at all. Potentially, I'll have a counter charge by some chariots, but I'm not too worried because I've got a big unit of ferals. This one I was quite I say pleased with. I managed to see that my chariots could see his Shabtiz and like they don't really look like they can see them. It's kind of something that in the past I might have missed. But yeah, I could charge and get an impact hit from a chariot onto the Shabtiz with the chariots.
So why not?
So why not, exactly? And now I pulled the trigger on that counter charge with the veteran orc marauders, which was why I was always holding them back, and to go into the flank of the Colossus. And I feel like that is, that's good for me there.
And this proves it.
And this proves it because I do lose a few more veteran orcs, obviously. He puts all his Shabtiz attack to kill my goblin chariot, and actually, it was a silly decision because the goblin chariot on that side was actually my witchcraft wizard.
Right. Okay.
So, I mean, that was just the way he was arranged in the unit. So technically, maybe I shouldn't have bothered putting the chariots in for the extra impact hits. But so I lost the witchcraft adept for doing that. Also, with the veteran orc marauders killing the Colossus, because I had to maximize with my marauders, I was actually hitting orcs rather than overrunning into Shabtiz.
Sure.
Because he didn't kill enough orcs because he was using most of his attacks on the chariot. So if the Shabtiz had to fight the orcs rather than the chariot, then maybe enough orcs would have died for my marauders to keep going. If that makes sense.
I have interest. At the end of combat, and I'm not sure you would want to do it here anyway in this scenario, but just for talking through rules, what comes first, the overrun or the reform, or do you choose?
I would say, and I don't say this with any level of credibility, I would say that the overrun comes first.
So obviously, for people that watch it,
they split.
They
split, don't they? Because the orcs aren't able to stay in
at
combat.
The end of combat, they would split, but you would potentially still be, because you've killed something, you would get an overrun
on the charge.
So would you be able to go, let's say 4 wide with your feral
orcs
in the middle, and then overrun that way? Is that a legal sequence of things?
I guess maybe it would have been. Yeah, maybe.
Well, again, probably in this scenario with things that are going on, you might not want to do that anyway. But interesting to me whether that's actually illegal or a thing you could do.
Yeah, I suppose with all the rules that we've got going on in our heads right now.
So let us know, people. Is that a viable thing? Forget about what's actually going on in this.
Yeah, could I have actually got my veteran orc marauders?
Could you get them in by reforming the orcs in the middle?
Yeah, potentially. Yeah.
But otherwise that's what happens, and that's going pretty well in the middle.
Yeah.
Obviously you'll get the objective at this point as well.
I will be, because it's I've got a fair amount of scoring going on in the middle. A lot of his scoring is now dead as well. The feral orc marauders also rally, which is cool to be more of a pain. And I do pivot, reform, because it's his turn next, to get the marauders to face the cataracts, which does actually give his Shah Guardian a chance to make a bit of a charge into the marauders, which is a little bit of a risk going on, but yeah. yeah.
Trolls lose some, but don't do any to the thing. So this is a good round for the.
Yeah, for the Dread Sphinx,
UD.
it's going to be a good old grind. But I've got plenty more trolls where that came from, and a BSB and a general nearby, so I wasn't worried about my trolls really.
Sure.
What I didn't see, I was worried about the Shah Guardian charging into the Veteran Marauders, but I did not see the chariots charging into the rear of those Veteran Marauders at all. I mean, go back to the previous picture.
Yeah,
Should I have seen that? No, it
was
a long charge.
Yeah.
It was, the dice wise, it was probably a lot less than I thought it was. Obviously,
sure.
But yeah, he saw that and went for it. And I think at this point, like, the battle is going my way. So Antoine was a bit like, I'll go for anything that I get. And this does potentially put my veteran or marauders in trouble. So I've got the cataracts in the front, and I've got the chariots in the rear. What I have got is Rod of Battle going on for me, and that makes Gromgor pretty good. It means he's hitting on 2s, wounding on 3s, or maybe 2s. I can't remember what the resilience is of the cataracts, but
I think it might be 5 of the cataphracts.
Yeah. He's always strength 6 anyway, Gromgor. But yeah. And the Shah Guardian goes into my trolls just to help out the Dread Sphinx as well. The Shabtis versus Veteran Orcs is kind of like the combat that just keeps on going, really.
And you lost this time.
I did lose. Which meant that the chariots had to flee, which I wasn't too disappointed about, to be honest, because he was chomping through them very easily.
Oh, right,
and I couldn't do Awaken the Beast on everyone.
Sure.
So the fact that I was just left to a few Veteran Orcs wasn't awful, actually. And of course, those Veteran Orcs weren't in a forest, and I killed just enough Shabtis that I could stay steadfast with them. So, few kind of thing there. And then we move on to this combat, and I'll tell you what, Veteran Orc Marauders, man. I mean, they just didn't die. The chariots came in. I think, are the chariots AP1 with their impact hits?
Don't know. I don't know.
I think they might be. But yeah, the Veteran Orc Marauders just didn't care, and Gromgor just killed a whole load of cataracts. And it was kind of like just bouncing off me, really.
Sure.
So that wasn't a problem at all.
Is this after Crumble?
Yeah, I think so. There were a few wounds going on for him.
And then
I won quite a few.
If that's after combat and that top troll one, that is incredible.
I know, he just didn't do anything.
So good.
I think what happened, and the next picture might reveal more, I don't know. I think I gave my troll champion to the Shah Guardian, and I just fortituded everything. And then did a wound to the Dread Sphinx with my troll attacks or the pet monster attacks. And it was just like the grind that isn't going anywhere, except very slowly going my way.
And you'd steadfast for days, really.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't think those skeletons were actually in the rear until this point.
Until this point.
Yeah. Until this point. Oh no, maybe they were in the rear. I attacked a few of them, actually. I don't. My Feral Orcs haven't moved, so maybe this is in the same combat.
Yeah, because this. So maybe it's just extra, and then pop goes.
Yeah, because I've killed the Dread Sphinx as well. So maybe that first picture was mid combat or something. I don't know.
Or he hadn't taken them off yet or something.
Yeah, but everything's going my way. Literally, my units aren't dying, and his are either slowly or quickly. Simple as
Which
that.
is never a good sign in a battle.
No, it's not ideal. It's not ideal, especially when you're subject to crumble.
Yeah.
But yeah, just everything was going quite nicely for me.
Continue fleeing on your turn.
Although I think I played this wrong the whole tournament. Maybe the Goblin Chariot could have auto rallied. I'm not sure. There's something about that, but I think it might be.
Isn't it if you choose? Yeah, I think
choose. So, but they were just normal chariots by that point.
So it's like the same picture, and then if I press again, it will show the result.
Yes, it will. So yeah, I mean everything went pretty well there. I absolutely won the medal. I think we probably called it there because, not called it there, but we basically were pretty sure that everything crumbles and/or dies eventually. I can't remember whether we said the Shabtis and the Veteran Orcs die. to each other, and then whatever is left gets charged by the feral orcs. So basically, I think we both gave each other the points for those.
Sure.
I can't really remember in the count up.
Well, in the count up,
but yeah, it was. I didn't lose much else, basically.
Yeah.
So
and you got
it was
19.
pretty convincing. Got the 19, baby. Yeah, I mean,
crazy.
It's like he planned it, right?
a cracking 36 points.
36 out of 40, day 2. I mean, you were impressed with your 30.
I was, beat that. Yeah. Goodness me.
I mean, it was the ultimate submarine, wasn't it, really, for me? I wish it was intentional. I wish I was good enough for it to be intentional. Well, the whole point of the submarine is actually to do just bad enough in day 1 that in day 2 you can win. So still working on that.
Yeah. You committed not too much to the submarine. Yeah.
I did. Yeah, it was too much. I just left it a bit too late on that one. I needed another couple of rounds. But yeah, I mean, Antoine was a very good opponent. We had a good fun battle. I did feel a little bit like it was the first time I'd really gone against someone who hadn't even seen the new Orcs and Goblins book,
Sure.
or at least not much anyway. And so there were a few things when I was like almost apologetic with stuff that I was having to say, and it does this too, but like the extra attacks thing. Like I think that's pretty much the reason why the veteran marauders didn't die to the double charge, flank and front and rear, because I just had 2 attacks with everyone.
Yeah, sure.
So there was a lot of stuff in there that was just like, oh yeah. But it was a great game, really good game, and obviously it went pretty well for me. The neophytes were just awesome in killing his magic. There's a strong magic setup for Undying Dynasties. But yeah, I finish on 50 points.
50 points, well done. And and thus endeth the game and the tournament. And we had a great time overall. It's easily been the best tournament on the scene for a while anyway. But it's no question is now. A 60 and a 50, I think we did pretty well overall.
Yeah,
in this big 60-man tournament. I think we were both top third, maybe a half for yourself.
No, I wasn't. I finished about halfway. Yeah.
So
there were some good results, but yeah.
I
was happy.
No, thanks to everyone involved. And if you are interested in seeing some of the models, as we said, and the award ceremony, which might just be the people that want to see themselves on the thing, then check us out in the next week or so. And of course, the best way to doing that is like, share, and subscribe, and don't miss a single video or single thing that we put out on the YouTube gloriness that is the algorithm through that. And otherwise, we do put up stuff on Twitter and Facebook. And we are heavily engaging with the Patreon at the minute. So get involved if you want to give us a game or get involved with what's coming up, which is very cool. Otherwise, check out the 9th Age Forum. Obviously, with 9th Age, we've got, in terms of the next tournament, is the Teams tournament, which I'm going to. And that'll be really interesting. That'll be in the next couple of weeks we get that up. And then, of course, we'll be gearing up towards 3.0 and going that way. So, yeah, don't miss a thing,
no.
As Aerosmith said, I think.
Yes, he did. Armageddon.
So, yeah, check us out. Like, subscribe, keep the comments coming. Stay safe, and until next time, see you later.